To start with, my name is Thyssen. So I represent Serengeti Elephants at the franchise. I come from Cape Town, South Africa. Actually, a small part of Cape Town, out in the farm area, Ceres, actually. But yeah, just happy to be probably on this side of the world, traveling the world at least. It's like someone told me, Nabu, one of the guys from Wild Dogs, he was like, we were in the UK together, he was like, rugby is actually a passport. And I mean, that's true words that he said. I've never looked at it that way. So yeah, like I say, to come from South Africa, a rich history of rugby, to be playing in the franchise Rugby 10, I'm happy. The reason why I'm actually playing for Serengeti Elephants is our coach Frankie. I met him in 2020. Actually 2019, my last year of school. I met Frank, and then 2020 I joined one of his programs back in SA. And from there, with COVID hit, and then we had to reset, and then he asked if I wanted to come back the following year, and I gladly took that opportunity. And ever since then, he's been nothing but good to me, giving me good advice, good context. So I just felt when he asked me if I wanted to represent him at with Serengeti Elephants, I felt like there's no other option but to say yes, because I mean, I've been with the guy for 4 years now, so I owed that to him, but also to myself. Looking back to last year when I played with the Elephants, I joined them midway through the 10s championship back in SA. And the culture compared to now was way different. This time around, there's a lot of background, Kiwis, South Africans, there's a bit of Zimbabwean, there's a bit of Kenyans in there, so it's a mix. So to be an elephant for me, I'd say, like we said today, the word of the day for us is just to go with the flow. And I think that's what elephants do when they go. They look for the waterhole, they just go where the flow goes, they relax. They're not on pressure to do anything. They're on their own. They do what they need to do and they get out of there. So I think that's what it means to be an elephant for me, just to go with the flow. The values of this team, I think when starting off, there was a lot of values because of the different cultural backgrounds that we come from. But I think day 2, when we all got here together, everyone decided the first value is family. And that's what we're gonna base everything around, is just being together, be there for one another. If someone is lost, you have to know to pull them back. And I think that for me, how that impacts me on the field is just as big as off the field, because what you do off the field, you carry back to the field. So if you can be a family off the field, that means you can be a family on the field. So if someone is down and out on the field, it's so much easier to carry them because they know there's someone next to them for you. So we can mention a lot of values for any team, but I think if one value can stick, it's just family. I think that be the tree, and branches under that is just who you are as a person. You can be yourself. You don't have to hide. You don't have to be shy, because elephants in the elephants family, that's who we are. You can express what you want to do. If you want to lay and watch movies all day, you can lay and watch movies all day. We understand you as that's who you are. But when we go work, we understand it's time to work. So weekends, like we have this thing we say, weekends, you can enjoy your weekends. But just know when Monday comes, you work for that, because you're messing with someone else's work also. Because if you don't bring your part, that means the next guy has to work double shift in order to bring you up. So if you can bring your part, you'll be good. So something that we do before our ritual before our game, I'm sure everyone knows it now. It's a small chant that we do. So a bit of background on how this came about was, so one of our players, Belgium, one night we were sitting in the living room, and he asked us, like, South African guys to do this chant, because back at home, like, we have like this chant on rugby days, like the schoolboys have this chant going on, and like they were so intrigued with it, so they wanted us to come up with one. And then all of a sudden one night everyone called everyone out of the rooms, everyone just sat there, and then Belgium taught us this chant, and we do it like now before the game. So before the game, everyone allows you have your space, you have your time, and just before we depart for warm-up, 2 minutes before we depart for warm-up, we have this thing where we stand in a circle, and Belgium will just shout out a few words. You come back with an answer, and then at the end we just enjoy it, like almost like a small haka type of thing, if I can describe it like that. But it's just like an energizer to get the boys up, because I'm sure every small kid, when they start off playing rugby, they're so intrigued with how this haka performs, while the All Blacks perform their haka in the beginning of the game. So for us to actually feel a bit of their culture and actually do it now, it's like you live in like almost like they say you want to live the American dream, so you like kind of living the New Zealand or the Polynesian type of dream of performing their hakas and actually understanding what the haka is actually about, and not just seeing it on TV and thinking that it's them laying there, stomping their feet down and being like, this is what they're coming for. It's like actually something that their culture does, is like almost like something for them to like say they to ask for protection over the game and stuff like that. It's not actually them showing their dominance on another team actually. So it was quite nice to learn actually the background, actually what it's actually about, and not just seeing it for what it is. What sets us apart from other teams, I'd say, is like, I go back, we're a family, and we have a lot of individuals that played a lot on the international circuit, a lot of guys that's coming up that's involved in development stages of their countries and wanting to actually get that next step to actually get their jersey for their country. But all of that is like put aside. It's like no one cares that you've played there before, no one cares that you're still coming up. Like everything is put aside, because we all travel far for one purpose, and it's to lift the trophy up at the end. But the elements to get to lifting that trophy starts at the foundation phase. So what you're actually going to put in is what you're going to get out. So we have the saying also is, you can't take out of your bank account if you haven't deposited anything in. So you need to be putting stuff in, and there's that values that you go, and all those values that you put it in comes again to the family side of things. And that is why we stay in a house at the moment, under one house, not at a hotel where it's like you only have two roommates in one room. Here you have the whole team is in one house, one living space, which makes it so much nicer, because you get to learn everyone. You don't get to just learn who your roommate is. Actually, you get to learn everyone. It forces you to learn even the coaches. You understand, like, you're not just gonna know your roommate, because once you come on the field, you're only gonna know your roommate does this, your roommate does that. So you don't need to do a lot of excursions going to and want to learn this and that and that. And I think that's what sets us apart from the other teams, because they are staying in a place where they are just roommates, whereas us, we can be a family. We can share our things with one another. It's easier to ask, are you good? Are you fine? Things like that. So all these teams has big names. Don't get me wrong, everyone has a big name in their team, but it's who can put that big name down and be there for the team. And I think that's where we flourished from week one. We were able to put our egos aside and say, I've been there, but I'm here now. I'm for the Elephants. Whatever I've represented before I came here, that's before. I'm here now. So I think that is what we actually got and clicked really well. I think from past experience, this is by far the best team I've played with just putting that ego aside and being there for the next guy next to you. Even this new thing of mixed play, even when the females are playing for us, we're playing for the females. It's not just the one is playing for them and the other one. Actually, it's both sides is the same values actually, and that surprised me actually, because they stay one side, we stay the other side. We're not like the other franchises where the females and the males are actually together. So we don't get that chance to experience and to mingle with our females and stuff like that. But on the game day, it showed that like we actually stick together for one another, for the franchise. And once again, I think that's what actually set us apart from the others. The person, and I think he doesn't even know it himself, that actually brings a vibe. Let me say the vibe of the team is Speedo Mazibukwe, Superior Mazibukwe. his laugh is so contagious. When he opens his mouth and he laughs, everyone around him laughs. So, because everyone hears a heart, because if one punctures, the whole heart bleeds. So if he's alone, the heart of the team, and he punctures, then there's no one. So like, I think Speedo is the vibe of the team, and if he can just pick it up and keep on going, I think no one will stop us, because they say there's a saying out on the circuit also, especially the 7th circuit, the happiest team is the most dangerous team. That's why you don't like to stand next to a team in the tunnel and they all chirp and laugh and going on and singing and stuff like that, and you and the team are just quiet and panicking, because that team is very dangerous. That means they're gonna enjoy the rugby. When you go out on that field and you're very stiff and you're anxious to go play, you're gonna tend to want to lose the game, because you are forcing things that is not supposed to be forced. Whereas the guys next to you are just enjoying the moment. They're enjoying each other's company on the field, because they know once they go off the field, they're still going to enjoy the moment. It's not so serious. So I think Speedo is the guy who nominated that. So we went to the old age home. That's one way that we engaged with the community, just getting involved with the community, learning about the area that we're actually in. I think learning from the older people is actually the best, because they were here for a long time. So just to get to know where you're actually from, or where you're actually situated in, I think, and not just come from different countries and just sit there and come play, and you actually get to learn the area, the history. And I think to have engaged with the older people, and because I don't think they would, because rugby is very recent also in the US, so for you to come and give them also like knowledge about the game and about this new format that's in play, I think that was a nice thing to actually see, because they were so engaged. They wanted to do it. They really wanted to sit down and actually speak with the younger generation. And I think for me, as a young person, getting to learn from older people, I think that's the best advice and best knowledge that you can gain, because you're never too old to learn also. So even they could learn actually what the game is about, and they actually loved it. They wanted to actually even compete for the ball. They wanted to get the ball at the end. I mean, that the lady that just jumped up to catch the ball, I would never expect an old lady to jump out of a wheelchair to want to catch the ball. That was so positive for me to see, because I lost my mom a few years back, and that reminded me a bit of my mom. So for me to have seen that was like, okay, there's something that you can play for, not just for younger generations to actually see you, but there's some form of element that older people also respect what you do as a younger person. So that's how you carry yourself as a young person. Older people or the older generation will be able to see, and they will be able to respect you for doing what you do. It doesn't have to be you as a young person need to only respect the old people. So you as a young person has the job to actually be to carry yourself well enough so that you can actually gain that respect from that older person, and not just demand, I want the respect. So, and I think and I feel that when we went to that outreach, all those old people, they respected us, because everyone was engaged. Everyone wanted to learn from each other. No one sat aside. No one was shy. They wanted that engagement, and I think that for me, seeing that was actually nice. My personal growth would be more of a like people skills. Like it was there, it just grew a bit more, because the team I'm playing with now, like I said, different backgrounds, different cultures. You don't know how this one will react if you say something like this. You don't know if you need to do this, how that person will react. So I sat down with one of the other players, Belgium again. The reason why I sat down with him was he has that in the team that we are, besides my coach Frankie Owen, like he's the guy with the most experience on where I'm looking to head my pathway. And sitting down with him made me realize actually what I needed to do. So by that words that he spoke to me, I knew what I needed to adjust, and that was just like handling things not the way that I would want to handle it, but maybe how that person sees it. So try and get their point of view before you get your point of view across to them. So I think in that helped my personal skills, and with my personal skills going up, it helped my game actually go up, because now I can understand you as a player on the field, what you looking to do on the field. Off field makes it even better, because I understand you want to relax. Leave him, let him relax, let him enjoy his time. Give him 15 minutes. After these 15 minutes, you guys can go grab a coffee, whatever you want to do, have a chat, sort it out, bring it back home. Because of the team that's so small, what I feel, the team feels. So if I'm going through pain, the team will feel the pain. It's not like in a 15-man squad where you have almost 100 plus people in one squad. It's easy to hide. Here in this team, with this amount of numbers, you can't hide. Everyone will see your pain. Everyone will see you hiding. So it's easy to identify that you're going through something. So I would say my people skills actually picked up. But I'm very chirpy. I will speak. I'm not shy to speak, but I think just knowing what to say in a certain moment in time would be the one that actually helps me. Rugby 10's championship, the format is unmatched. And let me put it, it's unmatched. Having a 15s and a 7s background, this is a combination of both. So tactic-wise, you can use a bit of both. But whereas in 15s, your position that you play, that's your dedicated position. So if you're 9, you're 9. If you're 10, you're 10. If you're a lock, you're a lock. Whereas in 7s, you only find yourself in your position on a set piece move. So meaning like if I'm at a line out and I'm the 9, I'm throwing in. But in general play, after my throwing in, I'll maybe be the 10 again, the link between the forwards and the backs. Whereas in 7s also, your forwards won't always be a forward until there's a breaking play for set piece move or whatever. So having the combination of both in 10s makes it even sweeter, because some teams here in the franchise plays a 15-man style rugby, having a dedicated 9, a dedicated 10, dedicated forwards, and other teams have the 7 side of things, which makes it even now a battle of both, which one will actually win. So now they can actually see if is 7's fitness gonna actually outlast the 15s chuck and trailer, where they're just bumping guys, whose stamina is gonna actually last the most. Tactics wise, there's so many things you can actually think of doing using a bit of the 15s, using that 7s element, putting speed on the ball and from the 7s, or slowing the game down using your 15s knowledge and stuff like that. Because you're only limited numbers, like as in 7s, there's a lot of space on the field now for guys that's quick. I mean, even guys that's big enough, the gap is so much big enough for them to actually take, where they don't see it in 15s. They can see it now on the field. There's so much space, I think, now in this 10s thing, that people is actually seeing so much space that the bigger forwards can't believe that how they get into this gap, because of them still being in that 15s mentality. So I mean, it's a nice combination of both for guys that wants to play 15s, that can't make a good 15 side, but also for guys that want to play 7s but can't bridge that gap between the international level and just professional level, semi-pro, that wants to go into international, that's finding it difficult to make it. I mean, I think that's where 10s comes into play, where both sides of the field can actually now come together and be like, I think this is the sport for me. Unfortunately, I don't know if there's an international scene where it's like international teams have 10s, dedicated 10s, but like, I think this thing will just grow, where it will attract more players that feel like, if I can't make it there, why not give 10s a shot? I think what I'm looking forward to with this team is just that continuity going forward. Do not want to change things because they feel like we're getting 2-3 new players in. Continue what we've been doing from the get-go, because continuity is key going forward. A lot of changes is happening around you off the field, even on the field. Like, just continue what we've been doing, staying there for each other, adapting and enjoying the moment, because that's, end of the day, that's what's going to carry us to actually get and lift the trophy, which all the franchises want. And I'm sure every franchise wants to get that $100,000, and it's a lot of money on the line. But for me, if we can all just go through and survive the season to all want to lift that cup at the end, that would be so much nice for me. And I think that's what I'm actually looking forward to, is just our team, our Serengeti men's team. If we can just click, I think we will be good, and you'll see me there at the end. So yeah.